Yo, what is up guys, it's Relic, welcome to Wave Ninja. Today, I don't really know necessarily what I'm going to be doing exactly. I might be talking about the lights behind me, or maybe doing some mixing tips or something along the lines of that while I cook up. Actually, I'll probably do the mixing tips, but yeah, if you guys want me to do a video on the lights, I got some over here. I think it just adds a little bit of a vibe to it. Maybe I'll do some color grading, make it even pop more. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. I haven't done a cook up video in a while, so yeah, I might be a little rusty. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will have a video every 2 or 3 days. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but yeah, we'll see.
Beside of a leader, missed out on college cause I don't like teachers. I was a player beside on the bleachers. Never save numbers cause I don't really need them. Don't like to text cause I don't really read them.
Alright, so now that I'm pretty much done with all the melodic elements, I'm just going to get into the 808 and the kick, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I mix my kicks and my 808s together. I know it's going to be pretty self-explanatory for the most part, but I do think I have some pretty decent tips to get your kicks to hit really hard and your 808s to cut through the mix still. First and foremost, I'm sure you hear this in every video, but just choose good samples. A lot of the times, I don't even process a lot of my kicks, and the only time I really process my 808s is if I want them to sound different or unique, or just take something as popular as the spins and turn it into something new and unique. So yeah, 808 processing isn't really necessary, but it is a cool way to get different sounds out of your beats. So I already have a kick picked out, and it's in my template in my videos. So I'm just gonna lay out a kick pattern. Alright, and just so you know, I also have a T-Rex classic clipper on my drum group. Sometimes people have this either in their master or on their kick channel itself, but I find it works really well on the actual drum group, so I just keep it that way. And another thing is, what you're going to want to do is, usually what I do is I audition a bunch of 808s and I pick one in the context of the beat. So I play the beat and I'm going through samples and I pretty much picked one that I think would sound really good in the context of the track. So I'm just going to do that real quick for you guys. Actually sounds really good, just a nice clean 808. I'm just gonna put this in key real quick, and now the easiest thing you can do is just to copy the pattern from the melody, at least the root notes. It makes it a lot easier to kind of discern the pitch without taking too much time. Alright, so now that I have the 808 pattern laid out, I'm just gonna play for you guys real quick. It's already kind of somewhat mixed because of my template, but I'll be showing you guys how I do it from scratch basically. Alright, so yeah, you hear that? Basically what I do is I make my kick the loudest thing in the track. And usually people don't recommend to do this, but I clip my kicks, or I at least have them at 0 dB And usually I use like stuff like soft clipping and camel crusher to kind of get rid of the clipping noise that would be considered bad. But you can also do this while using headroom. So if you want to do minus 6 dB, then just leave your kick as minus 6 dB and just make sure that it's the loudest in the track, and then mix around it. So basically what I do is I keep the kick as the loudest element in the track, and then I also have my 808 around minus 6 dB quieter than the kick. Now this is going to vary so much depending on the kick, the 808, all the other elements in the track, also the relative levels of your samples. So if they're compressed, you might want to make them quieter. If they're really quiet, then you might want to make them louder. And yeah, this is a very subjective thing. You should not mix using numbers usually. But it is a good way to get relative levels like I was saying. And usually the sweet spot for kicks and 808s is that the 808 is around 6 dB quieter than the kick. And I'm gonna just show you that real quick. So I have my kick, I think it's at 0 dB. So it's actually at minus 1 dB basically. And my kick, or my sub right now is at minus 7.66. So this is actually already roughly mixed. I might make it a little bit louder because I think it needs a little more punch. So I'm gonna add some saturation. And that might be a little too loud, so I'm gonna lower the mix. And I might make my kick a little bit louder because I like my kicks to cut. So I'm gonna use Camel Crusher on the British Clean preset, and that is the best preset in Camel Crusher by far. You're just gonna have to mess with the mix. Usually have mine pretty low. And that actually made the kick quieter. So in fact, I can turn this up even more. Yeah, so that's how I roughly get my kicks and 808s to sound good in the mix. You might want to consider sidechaining if you're not getting enough punch out of your samples, but you should definitely focus on getting it right in the source material. So if you have bad samples, of course it's not going to sound amazing. So use good samples, mix it correctly. Leveling is literally 90% of it. I promise you, there's no secret to this. It's just developing your ears over time to learn what sounds good and what does not sound good. And it does take a long time, but having these little tiny rules can help make a really big difference and speed up the process a lot. So I'm gonna go finish arranging this, and of course I'll have it at the end of the video, but I also have a couple things that I need to do before I finish the video. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so I just finished the beat up. I'm honestly not a huge fan of it. I think this is probably one of the weaker beats that I've made this week, but you know, you can't win them all, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that the experienced producers never make anything bad and they're always making just amazing content and stuff like that. And maybe some people do, but at least with me, I'm pretty terrible when it comes to making quality content consistently. I'm gonna be probably trying to make something else later today for Instagram content, because I'm gonna be starting to do Instagram content and making videos on that come early 2019. But right now I'm gonna try to make some artwork for some beats that I'm gonna upload later this week. And I'm also gonna try to see how much of the 808 sample pack I can finish up, hopefully to have it finished a little bit before Christmas. So yeah, so I didn't really record this, but I made a grime edit of Ski Mask, which I will put on the screen right now. And yeah, usually it takes about an hour or two to do these. So maybe one day I'll do a time lapse or a tutorial on how to make these. They're actually relatively easy, and if you want to learn a very in-depth way of doing it, then you can go to Chi World. He's just a YouTuber. He makes really great Illustrator content. And yeah, that's basically what I use. It's actually 5:20 right now, which is kind of early still, which gives me a little bit more time to focus on the 808 sample pack that hopefully I will have out. I really hope I have it out by then. So I ended up making some 808s for the 808 kit that I'm going to be dropping later this month. And I ended up actually using the Fruity Fast distortion filter for most of the 808s, which actually sounds really good, and I wish they had a Ableton version because it's really good. But I didn't record the process because honestly it's really boring, and most of the time I'm just twisting knobs and recording things out and trying to save all the good ones and delete all the bad ones. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I got a ton more coming this week, so yeah, just stay tuned. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.